que se llame Viro. Sample Grino.
Please.
Sponsor us.
Please.
Sponsor us. We're here. Welcome to episode 12 of Bibhor and Oskar's podcast. As Bibhor's trying to put us live on TikTok, as we always go live on TikTok simultaneously. But welcome to episode 12. We have a lot to talk about. I think today has been a turbulent day, more so. It is June 12th, 2025, just to kind of take note on what day it actually is. It has been a roller coaster. But we'll start out what we normally start out with, so we kind of stay consistent with our segments. The business of the week, Bibhor. Business of the week.
Business of the week. What do we got?
Let's find out. I at the moment don't have any new businesses or new ventures. So we've had the mandarin tree, not mandarin tree, but the mandarin farm more so. We've had Shipley Tech. We've had the photo booth rentals. We have also had the medical supply, the AI business as well.
The UPS track, if you want to start on the UPS track where take your local UPS, recommend the business. Basically, it's a business to start a business without any money. It just takes some little sweat.
Little grit.
Yeah. But we can... we could definitely talk about some different business ideas that...
Right now, okay, so just to start with our first one, yeah? I think this is a good one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I think this is happening across, like, a lot of businesses, and I want to kind of get to, like, the ground level of kind of this whole movement with AI and stuff, and who's really making money in the initial stages, right? You have your OpenAI, you have your, Anthropic and Gemini and whatnot. But these guys are also investing tons, billions and billions of dollars into it. So they're probably not seeing, like, the return that they're wanting right now, right? Because that takes time. So who's making a lot of money right now are consultants. So think of it from an AI perspective. What's AI? So we got our boy Jay Spliffin, dude. Oh, he left?
Oh. What is AI?
What is AI, right? So, I mean, in turn, AI is just a fancy word that basically says allows you to answer a question really, really, really fast. First step. Second step was now it can start doing tasks for you that otherwise might not have been like possible, right? It's an auto clicker. So it basically it clicks stuff for you basically whenever you give it a command. And that's more of like an agent AI. That's when we started getting into agent AI. Where I was going with this is from a small business perspective, right? Go to your local pizza place, go to all these local mom and pop shop, go call your local plumber, all these guys, right? How can you automate their business with AI to basically, help them integrate their business applications to AI? A lot of them don't even know what ChatGPT is. So even if you can create a simple chat bot that basically is able to message back whenever someone's on the website looking, right? That's something that's very simple and easy to set up. And if you're able to do that, you can charge like say $100 a month. You can charge someone $100 a month, and that's such an easy sell. And it wouldn't really take you that much effort to build that through an AI agent. Mm-hmm. A simple, comprehensive chatbot that just replies back and sets up meeting for you. Right? And then there you go. Like, you have just consulted a small plumbing business.
It's like a superhuman kind of... I think there's like a superhuman AI or something like that. Something that kind of does it. Something similar.
Yeah. There's a bunch of this. But again, if you can build it too, right? Like, but again, there are other businesses that are out there. And all you're doing is being a consultant and combining these two ideas together. So you're basically like the guy's AI person. Like, you can go to a local business and say, okay, I'll give you your AI business. And this could relate to like doctor offices, vet places. There's so many local physical brick and mortar location businesses or even a service business that you could be the AI consultant. And literally you don't need to reinvent the fucking wheel. You literally just using your AI knowledge and then basically selling these people with a little added fee. So let's say there's a company that does this AI agent chatbot for you. Instead of, you are basically charging 30% more for it to go to the plumber, and then you're buying it on top. So if it's $100, $130, then you're making that $30 like
Yeah.
on top. So
What I heard an interesting thing about was just like using the tools of AI and using the tools of like Lovable, and what we talk about, like building a website and making that a lot easier, but in like not other countries, for example, like Mexico. Like, how can you use this ability to kind of create these websites super fast and super well, and in a place that is maybe less developed in that kind of tech way? And there's a number of different examples of this, but how can you kind of leverage what is kind of out there?
Lovable's goated, dude.
Yeah,
People that don't know about Lovable and what it could do, you are seriously behind in this
missing out kind of thing.
AI business, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever idea, thought that you might have had, you can now create using Lovable. And it could be as simple as creating a simple fill-in form, or it could be as complex as building Shipley Tech, right? Like it can do it. And again, Shipley Tech is one of the things that like Oscar's building out. There's various other things that we're working on that are strictly from Lovable, that are like we have like a car mechanic application that we're working on. We have a tourism, like a medical tourism business idea that we're working on. There's also like a travel one as well. So again, the whole point is like we in the past have been limited. We meaning people that don't have the technical stack to build out a entire application. Where now the AI can do like some level of coding where you can at least make the front end and a back end that can service as a POC of your idea. And once you have that and you can just like prove value, then bam, dude, you got it. Like you're there. So what are your thoughts on that, Oscar?
I agree. I mean, again, with AI, again, it's just kind of being ahead of the curve and kind of seeing it before people kind of get there, right? It kind of feels like the internet before people kind of realize what the internet kind of was, right? If you were first to it, you kind of reap the benefits. Given simultaneously, sometimes the pioneers or the ones who are first in line are the ones the first to lead is the first one to get the arrow kind of thing,
Right.
So that is the risk, but it does feel like that kind of like it is somewhat new waters, and it still feels kind of like there's a lot of opportunity, really, ultimately. Even more so, like, I mean, if you already kind of felt there was opportunity in other countries outside of the U.S., like this kind of just exacerbates that or puts that on steroids. Ultimately,
Right.
It's like supersonic speed, So. Yeah, I mean, AI is beneficial for everybody. Just how I think like blockchain is. Talk about like globalization on steroids. It's something that you can't stop now, right? It's like everything is becoming more interconnected. You know what I mean? It's like everybody. You could trade everything in a cryptocurrency. Everybody has access to not everybody, but the majority of people have access to AI or tools like that. I think sometimes we fall into the trap or the fallacy that because a country is underdeveloped or not developed compared to the U.S., that they don't have access to a lot of these things, but they still do have access to these things. In which case, how are they using it? If you go to these countries simultaneously, you find natural engineers, you find natural like just geniuses because they're not necessarily thinking of like what can I invent, to patent, to sell. They're just thinking I have to do a job every day, and how can I make my life easier? So if you look around like their workshop or whatever they do, they invent things to make their lives easier. They're like geniuses, quote unquote, in what they do on a daily basis, right?
Again, there's a quote I think Bill Gates has said that basically goes like, if you want to get a job done, hire a smart person. If you want the job to get done good and fast, hire a lazy person. because they'll figure it out how to do it faster and better. So like, like that.
It's like, how can I do it with the least amount of effort? That's what I search for, right? I guess, it's like, how can I just optimize it, I guess it's the same idea. It's like being a hard worker doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get ahead. I know a bunch of hard workers who work 3 jobs, but they work at Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, and Pizza Hut. They work very hard, but they're not going to get to that next level. We also know people who work 3 hours a day, yet they're making 6 figures a month, because of what they kind of chose to do and how they're doing it, right? So it isn't necessarily working hard. There is a bit of kind of working. I wouldn't say a bit. I would say 50% of it is working smart. Maybe I'm lazy. I think you and I kind of share the bit of like, we are lazy to a bit, in the sense of like, we want to optimize whatever we're doing, right? It's like, it doesn't make sense that I'm doing this every day just for the sake of doing it, right? It's like, how can I make my life easier? And I don't think that's bad. I think it makes us unlazy in the pursuit of finding that, right? But I guess laziness is maybe why we do those things.
That is true. And oftentimes, like lazy people find it, dude. They find out like they figure it out, like they figure out how to get they might not figure out, like they might not invent OpenAI, or they might not invent like this great thing, but those are the types of people that are like making, like let's say you build OpenAI, and then people who are making recommendation on the products to make it better are those lazy people that are like, maybe this would be better. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that.
But I guess like that's what I'm saying is maybe or potentially going to change, because the barrier to entry now isn't as hard as it used to be. So even the lazy people, quote unquote, could say, well, I could actually do this fairly easily. So why don't I just do it and kind of solve my own problem, or kind of do this to optimize my life? And in turn, they're actually solving a problem for other people. But now they have the ability to kind of create this tool that is easily producible, or like you could, like, for instance, if I build an app to make my life better, I can easily share that app to you, right? If I'm working at an auto shop and I make a tool to make taking apart an engine 10 times easier, it's not that easy for me to recreate that tool so you can then use it.
Right.
So it's that idea. It's like, again, you're trying to make your life easier, but with tech now, it's like you could share those ideas and those things.
Well, it's digital, right? I think the whole thing is like, it's like we have gone, and I feel like, when did that really happen? Like there's a time shift change in our lifetime. It for sure happened, right? Where we went from a physical world, and we've created this huge thing in the digital space, right? Even like our lives are somewhat in cross between the real world and the digital world, right? Like a lot of things that we do, it's intertwined. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, TikTok, and all these different things that connect people throughout the world. Where all of this stuff before was all physical stuff. There was no digital stuff. I mean, you write a letter, but it's a physical letter you're writing to somebody else. Now, like it's different. Again, we might not do this, but there are people that their whole lives are online.
Yeah.
Like so that like they play maybe League or World of Warcraft or whatnot, but like their whole life it's just on that, like that digital space. And there's a whole economy based on that. And eventually we're moving towards that with like AR, VR, like these different things that are like coming in the next like 10, 15 years. We're going to be semi living in both worlds at the same time.
Have you seen, there's a movie by Bruce with Bruce Willis called Surrogates?
See that earthquake?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Oh my goodness. Guys, that was wild.
If you're on the live, man, you just woke up to a big shake. Thank goodness the camera's over there on a tripod.
Oh,
like that.
Crap.
But what was I going to say? There's a movie by Bruce Willis called Surrogates. And the whole idea is kind of like human beings are just, they become surrogates, where they live essentially in a tripod kind of thing. and their brain is connected to a machine that
totally sounds like the Matrix. Like, is this what you're describing?
kind of. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Look, again, if you like think of it like this, right? Like if all of your needs are met, and like if you really get down to the brass tacks of things, right? Like everything that you sensation, feeling that you have, all happens in the brain. When the brain tells different receptors within your body that it feels something, or like this is how it's supposed to feel from like memory of past things you have felt and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all up here, right? So like if they create some sort of a simulation to where you were in it, you have a perfect life, and your body just being kept in that state just so it can live, and then at that point you can live for like 300 years. People will do that. I don't understand why people wouldn't do that. Think about like in that world, everyone is everything they want in the world that exists. Think about, because it's virtual, so everything that you would ever want, like there's no crime, because why does someone commit a crime?
The repercussion.
Well, there's a lack of resource. All crime is committed from a lack of resource.
I wouldn't say all crime.
All crime. Crime. Tell me.
No.
I'll take this back. All crime is created from lack of resource.
No.
Tell me.
An ex-husband walks in on his wife having an affair, and he kills both people.
He has one wife. That is the lack.
He didn't kill out of a lack. He still has a wife, but he kills out of passion because he's pissed off.
But like the resource,
it's not because of a lack
there's
of
a singular resource,
and the resource is not gone. There's more females in the world.
But there's one married. Person. It's that one person.
He's still married to her.
Again,
he could forgive, right?
Oscar.
He doesn't have to kill her either. He could just say, "Hey, I want to get a divorce." But that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think it's necessarily
all crimes. All crimes. I mean, I feel like I don't know.
There's also sociopath. What about fucking Ted Bundy? Ted Bundy didn't count. His lack of resources was that he didn't have enough bodies. His lack of resources that he didn't kill enough people.
All right. Well, you know what? There's some fucked up people.
Well, I'm just saying.
You know what? Like you're bringing out like some weird fucking cases here, right? Like, I feel like it would solve a lot of crimes.
Okay, so if your argument is say like maybe the rule is 80% of crimes are maybe low level, not maybe as violent.
No, but not
or
just
simple
crime.
theft.
I'm talking about like wars, like a lot of things at scale happen because of lack of resource, right? We're talking. You're going back to like the most brass human level thing, like
I'm thinking of like sociopaths, like in society.
We will deal with that later. Okay, let's just talk about like
the norm. 80% of people.
No, more than that.
90%.
It would end all wars. Imagine if there's abundance resource. What would people fight for?
Territory. Ego.
No, there's nothing. Okay, there wouldn't be ego. Like, what would you have ego for? Everyone get the same thing.
Just to say you have power. What do you mean?
Okay, well, like, what is power?
Well, that power is defined differently by different people, right? But power is essentially the ability to tell somebody what to do.
Okay. And why do you need to exert power? Like what? To what? Like
you're right. I mean, like, what is the real logical reason? Yeah, it's to get some sort of resources. But there are people just like sociopaths who just want power just for the sake of having power, just for the sake of telling other people what to do.
So let's just have this.
It's like a sadomasochist. It's like, I don't know. It's like,
let's
why do people like pain, or why do people like abuse? Like why do they like to be abused yet they get pleasure?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I would feel like most people, that powerful people, even right, it is some sort of like lack of something. Like power because they didn't have abundance of something. If you have I just think like 99% of the world's problem will be solved if everyone just had everything, right? If let's just say like maybe there's 1% of people that are just bad, evil people in the world.
Yeah.
But I would say 99% of people, if every resource was abundantly available, like if you could have a mansion and so could every single person, like, then what's like, there would be no okay, Oscar, you can
would there be a reason to kind of like actually fight wars, I guess?
There wouldn't be.
I guess
they would for what purpose?
Yeah.
What do you want? You have it. Like, if you want water, you can have as much water as you want. You know, like I guess like one of the things that like you mentioned was like, oh, like feelings and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean that I don't know. I don't know how people would deal with that because like people inherently are like I don't want to get into the emotional side of things, but I would say majority of the problem in the world that can be solved will be solved. I feel like emotional problems are like you're just being petty, bro. Like
Yeah, but like I mean,
this is
people are very like
fucking
they die on that hill. Like I think like religion, like why did the Crusades happen? Was that did Spain really need all the resources? Maybe they did, and they used the
they
name.
did, yeah. But like you're,
They
I
did in
feel
the
like
name
that
of
kind of
God.
stuff.
I don't know,
I
but
feel like no one is gonna wage a like crusade level
like an Inquisition
conflict now,
you
unless
never
we're like
know,
going to
man.
like Mars or something.
You
Like
never know.
you know.
History,
Do you think this is how it would work?
history
Like,
never repeats itself, but it often rhymes,
so
as
let's say
Mark Twain once said.
Elon Musk goes to Mars. Let's say he like, you know, has colonized Mars. Now, does he colonize Mars, or has he colonized Mars on the behalf of the United States? Because that's a question that needs to be answered, right?
Right, because it's not NASA, right? And NASA is a government agency. SpaceX would be a privately held company.
But so would he? Would he? Like, I'd be like, oh fuck off, my guy. Like this is like I did this. Like, why do you get to reap the benefits?
Do you think he'd be? I think he would have to go. At the same time, I also think he'd be murked. You know, it's like at that point he'd be like, "Oh shucks, Elon, damn."
I feel like they wouldn't do it for the fact that like it's only one guy, only he has made it. They want to keep him alive for a little bit longer, like, until they figured it out.
I guess they'd probably be more so like making an agreement of saying like that's fine. It would be like the British and the United States, right? It's like fine, you could be independent and do your own thing, but we have.
I don't think
we have a
other
veto
countries
agreement,
would be
it's like-
cool with it being claimed the U.S. I think they would be cool with saying, okay, that Elon can have it.
That's what I'm. Yeah, so
Right,
maybe
Like a private state owns it versus like
the state of the state of Elon, the state of Musk, or
Blue Origin, Bezos or whatever, right? Like, I think that's a question that
you think
ultimately.
Bezos has a chance to go to Mars? If anyone's gonna make it, it's gonna be Elon Musk.
No, I think he has a chance. It's his company's done it
Bezos?
like. He's got Blue Origin, right?
Yeah. But they've only kind of broken the Earth's surface. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like
I mean, I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
cool, don't get
Who
me
else
wrong.
is in that game? Like, I don't know who.
Virgin was there for a second, but
No,
now
they're
they're
done.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're done. Those are the three billionaires who were kind of duking it out for it. Now it's just Bezos and Musk.
There's a company called Rocket Lab.
Yeah, that's in Long Beach actually.
Yeah. So I don't know. Rocket Lab, they might do it. I know, like I don't know, like Palantir, like not Palantir.
No, Palantir is different. I mean, I'm sure they were.
What is it? Anduril.
Anduril? Well,
Yeah.
they do autonomous vehicles, but I don't think they're doing space.
It's all the same thing. If you're making rocket engines, then you are in the game. You essentially are in the game.
Yeah.
It's all it takes, right? Then you're just building out like larger parts to like, boost yourself up higher. But
Yeah.
that's a very interesting concept. I feel like, I mean, I think back in the day, like Christopher Columbus or even Hernan Cortez claimed that land on behalf of Spain, right?
They did, yeah, because they
Yeah.
paid, but because they paid for it. Christopher Columbus was Italian.
Yeah.
You know, he went to Portugal first to say, "Hey, I'll do it on your behalf." They didn't want to pay, and he went to Spain and said, "Hey, I'll pay for it."
Christopher Columbus, dude.
From the Colombo family. But to not digress, let's continue on. What's going on in the world? There's a lot going on in the world. Today specifically, there was we'll start with a little bit lighter hearted. There was a plane accident.
This is not lighter hearted.
Well, let that just kind of be the thing. If we're starting with that as the most light-hearted thing, in my opinion, fuck, yeah, it was a tough day. So there was a flight from where was it?
Delhi.
From Delhi to London, and I think there's about 200 souls on board, give or take.
201.
And it crashed just shortly after takeoff. There's been it was a Boeing flight, so it was a Boeing airplane.
Big one, big boy.
It was,
It was a Boeing 757 or 787, one of those.
Let's find out.
So it's a big one though. It's like amongst their larger planes.
Let's find out. At least 290 killed.
Oh, 290. Oh,
260, excuse me. They did find the black boxes. The Boeing CEO has canceled plans to attend the Paris Air Show. Yeah, probably a bad time. The U.S. Transportation Secretary says no indication of safety concerns with aircraft. Air India confirms 241 people were on board, were killed, with Britain the sole survivor. Did you hear about this sole survivor?
Yeah, seat 11A he was sitting on, and he said he jumped out of the plane, which... Well, what I know is the plane had only gone up, I think, like few hundred feet.
It's like 657 feet, yeah.
Okay, so I guess, but what, once, I don't know what the cutoff is, but I know once you get off a certain, height, the door pressure, so where did you jump out of? The door pressurizes, so,
Well, he must have been on. I think he said he was on an exit aisle or something like that.
But even then, it's hard to the door. I don't think you can just open those doors from the inside. Someone has to open those doors for you, the cockpit or
I don't know exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm glad that guy survived, but that's just wild. This year also has been the deadliest year in, I think, since the planes came. Since the planes were used for commercial flights, the most dangerous year for flying, which is absurd.
I don't know. This is the survivor bias. What's survivor bias?
I feel like the chance of surviving a plane crash is very small. If a plane is gonna explode, your chances are slim.
Yeah, yeah.
If you make a landing, if the plane doesn't explode, then you might survive. But
I don't know how I'm alive.
How does this work? Do they sue the airlines company now? Is that how this works?
Generally, I think they sue the airline, but they do an investigation. They find out and kind of see who is at fault.
Why has there been so many airplane crashes this year?
Well, different things. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these planes take a long time to get there, and a lot of them are 30 years old, and then we send the ones that are here that are 30 years old to other countries, and they become 40, 50 years old. You know what I mean? It's they're not necessarily the creme of the creme per se, you know?
Yeah, I saw this guy that posted a video about the crash, and it wasn't about the crash. It was he had gotten on that plane right before.
Oh, the flight right before it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And he had taken a picture of oh, this is very shady, he had taken a bunch of
You're saying this plane shouldn't fly. Look, I mean, it's flying right there and it crashed. It didn't take off. It almost didn't have enough power, or the engines just gave out. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. You think part of it is maintenance safety within the country,
100%. Yeah. A 787 Dreamliner. Yeah, huge plane. Wow.
Yeah, I mean those are amongst their larger plane, right?
Yeah. Maybe they overpacked it. Maybe that's what it was. It was too heavy.
Is that a thing? I guess that's a thing. But no, they measure that, dude. That's not a.
Yeah, I mean, it would be negligence on the company, right? But is it possible? For sure, it's possible.
No, because enough to where it wasn't even getting 10,000 feet. I'd be surprised if it was having a hard time getting to 30,000 feet. But you don't even.
It only made it to 690.
That's what I'm saying. So I just think that there was just not enough. Something was wrong. It just wasn't working. It wasn't because of the weight. I feel that was
the engine just cut out pretty much.
Right.
Because what else could it be, right?
That's what I always fear is a plane comes in and it goes off again. I'm like, dog, did you check it? Did you fucking check it?
Yeah, dude.
Because I'm getting on a plane as soon as the other person's boarding off. So it's
yeah.
I want a fresh plane, my guy. give me something that's not super old.
See, but it also looks like the gears don't even kind of come in on time.
It's just going down. It's just shinking.
Yeah.
But think about it. That's like 20 tons on the air. Like, think about that.
When did this guy jump out? You think it was right there that he jumped out?
He had to have been like fucking 30 feet.
Do you think that he opened the exit and maybe that's why he crashed? Like he was having a panic attack, and he fucking opened it.
No, they aren't getting air.
It depressurized, and then everything just went to crap.
No, I don't know.
Right there, it pops open. He would die from that jump. Huh?
That's a high. That's like 300 feet, dude.
Yeah.
He probably jumped like
right there.
Like right there, like right there. Oh shit, that's brutal.
And they're going fast.
At least like a few hundred miles.
Yeah, it's like this guy. Like I don't know how this fucking guy survived.
Dude, so I saw a bunch of videos today about people posting about this right before they got on the plane.
What do you mean?
Like I saw these two Brits that were like excited, like, oh, we're going back home, like, you know, goodbye India. Like they're on TikTok or Instagram. They were just going like making a video, like peace. I saw like a family posting, oh, like a mom was a doctor. They had taken their kids to India and they were coming back to England, and then the whole family died. But those are the last few pictures that people were taking and posting. Right?
Yeah. But it is kind of a trip how social media now, like you could capture the very last kind of.
Yeah, that didn't exist back in the day. Like again, like a lot of this is like people get shot on like live and shit. So all of this is possible. Yeah. So.
Yeah. They're not showing. There's a bunch of videos on him before the actual guy walking.
Yeah, I saw him walking. Yeah.
Have you ever seen people flipping houses and saying,
Oops. Oh, this is it right here. This is it. Let me see. I'm going to share this on the.
Yeah, he's probably just. It probably feels like he just like frags and like grenades going off. Like think about the amount of like shell shock. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like he survived because the plane wasn't going that fast. It had to have been. The plane couldn't have be going more than like 50 miles an hour when he jumped.
But you think that he was actually
there? Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
No question. Right?
Was he there? Did he make this shit up? I don't know. Could be opportune moment. He would be on the log, right? Like I'm like, they can verify that very easily if he had checked into the flight or not. Why wouldn't you? Because you scan your boarding pass before you get on the plane. You scan your boarding pass when you enter the airport, and you scan your boarding pass when you get onto the plane.
The only way you could do is if you would seal the identification and the boarding pass of somebody who was on the plane but was dead there, I guess.
No. Like there would be, they could clearly check that this gentleman had entered the plane. And everybody else that entered the plane is dead except for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's there. Like, he's not dead.
But you think they'd go through, like, video and everything like that?
What do you mean go through video?
Like, because, like, again, it's like he could go through, like, let's say he found the plane crash. He was there. The bodies were there. He went up there and he took
the ID.
And they had the ticket and the passport and everything like that. And it's kind of like...
This shit's not funny. I don't know what we're laughing. This is not funny. Dude, that is some diabolical shit, dude. You think people do that? That is some like. No.
People have.
I wouldn't want to get that close. Like, why? Like, I don't want to be that close. You were telling me that this guy had the time to go and find a body, find the ID that the guy was holding in this rubble of plane crash, because you have to assume when the plane crashed, the instant the plane crashed, hundreds of people in Delhi rushed to that same spot. Like, I'm telling you, there's like 20 million people that live in Delhi. Within this vicinity, there's probably like 20,000 people that live there.
That's what would make sense that he was a survivor, because he was the first one there.
Oh, well, did he say that?
No, but I mean, like that's what I'm just assuming, that he was the very first one there.
He was on the plane.
Everyone shows up, and he gets off of the plane because he was there looking into the stuff. I don't know.
No. Like, they could be... No, because your whole story would fall apart because someone else can identify this man.
Who? Everybody died.
No.
Oh, outside of it.
Like,
I mean, I guess so.
like,
Like,
okay,
hopefully.
okay, let's say he's
Oh.
claiming to be this
see.
man. I'm sure that man has a family, and they're like, "That's not him."
It's like she was not
What
on
the
a
fuck? Like,
plane. No.
right? So
That
I'm
guy
saying,
has no money
it would
to
be really
fly.
hard to get away with that. Like,
He owes me $400. You better not be on a plane in London. Yeah.
conspiracy solved. We solved this fucking conspiracy, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
Sorry for leading you down that. But hey,
That was a thought, though. I
We
thought
figured
about
it
that. I
out.
was like, oh man, maybe this guy's just taking advantage of the situation. That is, well, we solved that. This guy definitely survived that crash, and prayers for him, like that he survived, and speedy recovery.
Amen.
That's crazy, though. If you look up, what number is this? How many crashes have there been, and where are we today? Year to date, plane crashes around the world.
This year, boom, boom, boom.
Jamie. Oh my goodness.
In Temecula, no.
This is a Chat GPT question, dude. Deep research. People still Google nowadays. You know that?
Let me do commercial planes because there's we don't count like small planes, right? So
As
there
of
have
March.
been 14 fatal aircraft accidents in the U.S. in 2025.
As of March. It's
As of
only
March
through
25.
March.
Yeah.
So
Today makes it.
no, it's not counting anything from March forward. There's probably been like 25, dude. Extremely high number this year, like which is just this little bizarre.
Yeah, in 2023 there was 6. In 2024,
Just on March, just
no.
up to March.
2024 there was 16 in total. Well, I guess so. Yeah, up to March.
Just up till March, there's already what?
Yeah, 14.
There's already 14 up to March, and again, we're already up at 16th. Right?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is kind of scary.
That's just in the U.S., and that's not counting that South Korea crash that killed like 300 people.
Yeah, that is a bit scary to see that all those things are kind of happening at one time.
All right, so
Well, let's so like we started off on a
Heavy.
light note. Yeah. So let's move on to maybe. Do you want to do immigration or do you want to do?
yeah, we can
Iran,
talk about
Israel?
Los Angeles. We could talk about that's fine. Yeah, so me, I'm a
Mexican.
I'm not a Mexican, dude. No, I am not Mexican. I am I'm an immigrant. I am a son. I am born in Nepal, and my parents are from Nepal. I'm a U.S. citizen. A long time ago, 25 years, and my wife is white, so fuck you guys.
Was you born in Canada?
Oh, no, she was born in America, dude.
Wouldn't that be funny if she's the illegal immigrant here? Sadie's like the least looking. that would be so like a full fruition, huh? I'm sorry for saying that, but
that'd be funny.
it'd be the least expected thing,
Yeah.
Sadie has like
I don't think they're deporting like people that look white. Like that's not a.
most definitely. I don't. Well, I'm sure they are. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure they are, but that's not who they're targeting. That's not who they're talking about in all these kind of.
News outlets.
For sure not. Yeah. It's like they're definitely like right now looking at Latinos, Mexicans, I think. Yeah, because everybody kind of puts all Latinos in the same bucket, and what kind of Mexican are you? You know what I mean? It's like how all Asians are like Chinese to racists, I guess.
I mean, we live like an hour away from LA. We went to school in Long Beach. Been to LA countless times, and yeah, it is. I mean, going back to even like where it all started, right? Like California, I would say generally the west of Colorado. It's typically been, like Mexican American native land for hundreds of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different territorial people have owned it for different times, but even till now, I think if you look at ethnic population of Los Angeles, like I would assume it's like 70% Hispanic, right? Like it's pretty high. A lot of third, fourth, fifth generation Hispanics that have lived in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and still very culturally like in tuned to what's going on, like like the community and stuff like that. So it's a little disheartening to see like like a blanketed policy that's just like, okay, like pick them up and throw them in the van, like, so like, wait, what, like, like, so that's a little disheartening, right? Like it's I don't think we as a country for 250 plus years, like this is what it's boiled down to, like like it's and it's rough. But again, I think like what we saw today was like a little policy change that happened. Was like he is going to stop like blanketed deportation because it's impacting
The farms and everything.
farms
like that, yeah.
and hotels, and like that it's having real economical impact on the labor market. So like if this continues, like it's gonna trickle down long.
People are afraid.
Right,
It's just
right.
plain and simple. It's like, again, the restaurant that they raided in San Diego was.
I love that place. I go there all the time. I've been there like 6 or 7 times, like in the last couple of years. Love that place, dude. That garage, dude, fire.
It's not like it's some hole in the wall kind of place in a Mexican or Latino community that only Latinos go. No, it's a well-known.
It's
good
in Coronado
establishment.
Island, dude. The houses there are like $35 million. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. And for them to show up in that kind of like in full military gear, doing a raid when the restaurant is open with attendants there, with people enjoying their food, who wouldn't be afraid, right? Not only like the immigrant who's obviously afraid of the ICE person, but me or someone who's there consuming the food, who's maybe white or any other ethnicity who thinks they shouldn't be afraid, is just instantly struck with fear because they see somebody just running at them with an M16, with an M4. It's like, I don't know if I should defend myself. I don't know what I should do.
The circle is
like,
getting smaller. Like the gas is coming in. Like,
I don't know.
The
real fear is, we kind of talked about it earlier today, was like they're trying to do a lot of changes to not just policy but the Constitution, really. Like they're trying to make it easier to suspend habeas corpus, and for the president to be able to essentially pick and choose when habeas corpus is used. What is habeas corpus? Habeas corpus is your right to due process. It's literally like the first paragraph in our Constitution, our Articles of Confederation. So it's one of the most important things that we have. It is the way that people cannot just accuse you of something and have them just throw you away in jail. You are
habeas corpus is basically what is protecting your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way till
correct.
28th Amendment.
Yeah.
It is your right. It is what happens when these amendments are challenged. Habeas corpus is what is set in process to challenge these laws. So it's your right for due process in the court, and it's very important, right? Like it's something that's very alarming, regardless of political ties or whatnot. Like you should not be okay with just letting somebody just take you to jail
take
without
your rights away. That's what kings used to do for dissenting, right? They used to say, you speak against a king, straight to jail.
No. This happens in China. This
In
happens
third
in like
world country, yeah.
This happens in authoritative governments.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's one of the first steps that happens in terms of consolidating power. But like this is a very dangerous step. Obviously, like some of the other things is like we go into state versus like federal kind of issues as well, right? Like when does the federal government step in? The rights of the federal government versus state. So a lot of that stuff goes into it. My big thing in this is like, right, like everybody outside of California fucking hates California. I love California. I'm fucking homer for California, right? Like, and what pisses me off the most is like people talk so much shit, and California bankrolls most states.
Yeah.
So it's like, what without California, you're nothing.
$80 billion.
You know, like it's not only just the money. Dude, California is the largest populated state. Like we produce a lot of agriculture. Like it's like there's no reason to hate California. There's no reason to say like we want California to be like something else, because most progressive idea, and I'm not saying like when we talk about like progressive ideas, you know, like people think, oh, like people are going liberal, full liberal mode. I'm talking about like progressive ideas, like, you know, like in science and technology, progressive ideas in like, you know, field of finance. Like it happens here, like, you know, like in like anything that has to do with computers. It's happening in
Silicon
California.
Valley, so
like
Hollywood is here in LA. We have wine country in Napa Valley, wine country here in Southern California.
right.
You have Camp Pendleton, the Navy, and how many bases sprinkled throughout all of California and everything.
And the weather's
like that.
perfect. As much as people talk shit, dude, like I live where you vacation. Like think about that.
Yeah,
You know, we live where people vacation.
yeah.
So like as much shit as other states, you know, like
Simultaneously, it's like, and it's funny. I was watching C-SPAN all day today, and they kind of like, they're talking to the governors of Minnesota, I think New Jersey, or New York, and of Illinois. And everyone was talking about California. Though California, Gavin Newsom wasn't there, obviously, to talk to Congress. And all of them were kind of talking about like, wow, what a bad service and a dishonor. But it's like states like Kansas, who the federal government gives more federal funding to than they give to the federal government, which means California is bankrolling those states. So it's like it's kind of like, man, dude, it's like they're talking about like the hand that feeds them, so to speak. You know, it's like maybe it does make sense to kind of stop saying like, you know what? Fine, you don't want to help us out, man. Maybe we shouldn't help you out. But simultaneously, I recognize that that's like civil war, and I don't want war. You know what I mean? I don't want anything like that. But
because all these people that like shit on California, like your life will instantly be worse if California, let's say, is allowed to secede. Let's say tomorrow something happens. They're like, you know what? We will let California secede out of the union. And California signs a petition and we secede out of the union. Mm-hmm. We that live in California will all have become richer.
We instantly become the sixth largest. I mean, given we'll probably fall a little bit because
our state would have so much money in surplus that it would be able to give us money back. We would have such a surplus on subsidies. Even giving it to like, you know, people that come in.
Given that, I mean, that's set as parabit. That's like assuming that the United States doesn't like tariff us and then we can't sell to like, you know what I mean, or like wage a war or anything. You know,
no. I mean, like again, like I don't think no one's going to secede. Like I don't think that's a thing. But like it's just like.
But arguably, like you make a good point. It's like Apple, Google, all of Hollywood, right? All of these Andrew. You have Boeing here. Boeing's mainly in Seattle, but we have a huge Boeing headquarters sprinkled throughout California. Northrop Grumman has offices here. You have huge facilities and huge connections to everything. Silicon Valley alone, IBM, and all those companies.
You think
SpaceX is here?
Yeah. You think we will like? You think the United States ever at one point will ever split into multiple like countries? Or like, you know, maybe not like next, you know, 10 years, maybe the next 200 years, 300 years. You think eventually there will be like a schism, a division of the states, and it moves to like, I don't know, like 6 states? Like California basically takes the West completely, right? Like,
I guess that's the real fear that I have is that would happen. You know what I mean? It's like the real fear is that they're causing us to separate, and that's ultimately the solution. Right? It's like everyone's pissed off about these woke ideas and everything like that, but it's like at the same time it's kind of like, well, that's what California we've they're not that woke, you know. They're woke if you've never experienced that, right? It's like you are afraid of Latinos or Venezuelans and all these people who on the news they make it seem like they eat your dog and they kill people and they're rapists and murderers. Who wouldn't be afraid? But if you live in a neighborhood where there's Mexicans, Venezuelans, Blacks, Asians, from all over the world, then you realize it's like, well, I'm not afraid of those people because I know those people, right? They're my friends. There's bad people everywhere, right?
Right.
We're not saying that doesn't exist, but I don't think that. I guess like causation versus correlation, right? It's like I don't think that has anything to do with them being a bad person. You know what I mean? It's like it's just.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's tough, dude. Anyways, the third thing I think
To land on the best, maybe not the best note, but
it's happening live. Currently evolving situation.
the past 3 hours,
Breaking news.
Israel
Yeah, so
is starting World War III.
stop. I think
You heard it here first.
what happens when you are not provoked?
You're an antagonist. You are an aggressor.
Yeah, so it did an aggressive act. I don't know any other way to like say what it is. Like, people kind of, I guess, argue. I guess.
They waged war on Iran. They literally bombed Tehran.
Yeah, and this is like about like 2 hours ago. I was watching the news, and it's like, holy crap! Like, is this really about to go down? Like,
The United States immediately said, Iran, we had nothing to do with this. We are not participating in this mission. This is not our mission. We have pulled our people out of Iraq yesterday because they knew ahead of time, of course. They pulled out all of the people in their embassies in Iraq and also in Israel. Everybody's kind of on pins and needles. I believe they were removed, but the ones in Israel may be told to kind of stay in place. I'm not sure, but
I wonder where. Like, so they did this. They obviously like bombed Tehran, right? Like, where do you think like the Ayatollah like is? Like, where do you think that you think he's in some bunker somewhere, or like, what do you think?
I think he has like a palace and things like that.
He's at the palace. He wouldn't just be like.
I don't think they. Just like the United States, right? The president sleeps at the White House, kind of thing. Maybe not Donald Trump, but I mean, most kind of sleep at the.
Yeah, but like we're also not Iran, and no one would dare do that kind of stuff, and you would see it coming miles away.
But I think Iran also had kind of a similar idea. Is like there's a bunch of proxy wars because of Iran, but no one really attacked Iran, right? Because they understood that attacking Iran was essentially starting a world war.
Look up what's the news.
I just think Israel has used all this as kind of an excuse to
Just fuck it, dude.
find this war. I don't know. If you want to go down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole, look up who was arguing for the Iraq war in 2001. It may be the current prime minister of Israel who was telling us to use Afghanistan and our anger off the terrorist attacks to really go after the people who are real terrorists in the world and the ones who really want to kill and everything. We should use this as momentum to go attack Iraq.
What was his position prior to like becoming president?
He was the head of
Mossad.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was head of Mossad.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Let me verify that that's true.
it.
But he most definitely is Mossad.
Looks like one. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's been president. Okay, no.
He returned to Israel in 1967 to join the Israel Defense Forces, the IDF. After that, he returned to the U.S. to study MIT, and he joined the Boston Consulting Group as a spy from Mossad. Just kidding, that doesn't say that.
This guy must be really rich, right?
His father is the one who started Mossad.
Oh, really? Go.
Let me see.
Papa, parent, right there, we're done. Papa. Oh, this guy looks like a top G.
So he was a scholar of Judaic history. He was also an activist in the revisionist Zionist movement. Polish-born Israeli encyclopedist, historian, and medievalist.
So he did not start Mossad.
He was served as president. Dude, hold on. Wait. And then Hunt was the father of the current Israeli prime minister, ex-commander of Sayeret Maktel. What's that?
The resistance.
So he's the one who started Israel then.
No, stop. Is he? Wait, go back. Go back. He didn't serve anywhere, dude. He probably was just a historian of some sort.
Let's find out.
Anyways, dude, this guy right here, like, has been around for a while. Like, what? You think there's protests within Israel about this kind of stuff as well, or no?
About what?
About like what he's doing. Or do you think everybody's on the same page? There has to be somebody inside Israel that's protesting this kind of stuff. Who is his opposition? Obviously, every political party has an opposition. So I'm sure he has a...
No, for sure. There's people in Israel, for sure. Yeah.
Right, like, there's the other side.
Yeah. I mean, there's even people who were protesting what they were doing in Palestine and everything like that. We're just saying this is not what Judaism preaches. You know what I mean? It's kind of the opposite of this. So for sure, there's always people who go against it.
It's like that guy in Russia that was going against Putin.
That they poisoned twice.
Alexandria something.
Yeah,
and
that they finally killed in prison.
They got him, dude, after so many... I think he died last year.
Yeah.
They
poisoned him, what, once or twice?
They tried to kill him. They poisoned him, and then they finally they just arrested him.
Yeah.
Everything didn't work, and they were just like, you know what, like, we're gonna get you for like tax fraud, and you're gonna go to the like level 5 gulag.
Gulag, yeah. Where you're gonna die of like just
a disease, dude.
And that's what happened. Poor guy, but ultimately, yeah, we're on the verge of what feels like World War III. It's just the beginning stages. The United States has definitely distanced itself from Israel, which I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Maybe personally speaking, I think it may be good. Israel, I heard this.
I feel like we have our own problems at this point in time. I feel like there's.
I feel like I heard this as a joke the other day, but it kind of feels relative and real that Israel is kind of like that friend that you've had all your life. Like you grew up with them, but that friend grew up in a really bad household. Like their dad was not there, their mom was a drunk, and she would have boyfriends, and like those boyfriends would beat the shit out of them. So like this kid was just like angry and would do a bunch of stuff and like just get you in trouble. That's Israel? That's what Israel is. It's just like it's just like it's the bad kid, but it's like you love him because it's like, dude, it's been like your longest friend. You know what I mean? It's like you literally. You like
he's a bad kid though,
but he's a bad kid, and then like you need like somebody like a girlfriend to come in and say like, you know what, like I know you love Israel, but Israel is just fucking
cut him off, dude. Cut him off.
I don't think he's serving you, and he's like look at you got all your stuff together, you went to college and everything, and like Israel is like still
Israel
doing bumps of cocaine like in the middle of a restaurant. It's like
that's that's funny.
Not okay. You know what I mean? It's like. I don't know.
That's so funny. So Greta Thunberg, what the little kid?
Yeah.
She was she went there to protest or something.
Yeah.
And they like took her.
But they almost attacked the boat.
They didn't attack. Okay, like I felt like some of this stuff was getting a little convoluted. They just stopped her. They didn't want to cause an issue, so I think they just like removed her from like being in the action and potential casualty of like unneeded stuff. The politically straight move, like just you don't want that type of like press. But
for sure no. Yeah, I mean nothing is looking very good for Israel right now, kind of thing. So it's kind of like us as the U.S. is like we're put in between a rock and a hard place.
But we're right there. Like it's have you ever seen the meme? It's like Homer Simpson, and it's like 4 panels, and it's Homer Simpson going into a bush, and it disappears, and someone else comes out, like it's like that. Like that's what's happening in the U.S. right now. Like it's like a little, little strange, little hard to believe. Like I saw this news, and I don't know. Again, I also like to take some of this news stuff with a grain of salt, right? Like I know like there's narratives being like on both sides. But what I saw on the news was this like kid who was from Honduras, I guess, who was here, who got deported with his dad to Honduras. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, like that's sad, Like especially like, well, my son could have friends, and like, what do I tell him? Like, if it's, what I'm saying, like, so it's like, okay, like, where does the line come in for like, what do you do? Like, how are these detention centers? You know, is it humane level stuff that's going on? Like, I don't know. Like, you know, that's the type of stuff. It's like, hey, like, you know, should we ask? Like, is there cameras? Like, where are these people being taken to? Like, you know.
The last time they did this was they kept themselves in those detention centers were just cages. You know what
Last
I mean?
time did this was in Japanese folks in World War II.
No, that's
like,
that's
what?
not. But like I mean, no. When Trump was last president, remember he did that whole thing where you got to stop him south of the border as they're applying for asylum, and he was keeping them in cages, pretty much.
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff is like, you know, that's like here's the thing, for however many years that like the United States have been around, we have always touted the flag of like the good guys. We've always been the good guys, right?
100%, yeah.
Fighting for the people, the defenseless, the people that couldn't fight, people fighting for like spreading democracy, and for whatever that means. Maybe it's democracy they didn't want, maybe the democracy they wanted, but they got it.
Yeah.
You know, we went and gave people fucking
The land of opportunity and the land of rights. Yeah.
and we try to spread that, and we, for the most part, have been seen as the good guy. But, you know, like, how long does that last? And going on to the second fact, this is going to piss you off about this whole thing. The World Cup is in jeopardy.
It is. It is, in fact. Yes, yeah. We've been getting a lot of videos and a lot of things about that. Just how FIFA is saying, well, maybe we should cut it off from the United States just because of all the geopolitical and all the political issues. Simultaneously, am I that pissed?
They're saying they're going to have ice stand at the games.
Yeah.
No, like,
they already announced that.
Let them watch the game, dude.
Yeah.
Let them watch the game.
It is a very bad look for everybody who's going to come and visit, right? Nobody's going to want to come and visit. It's going to make it not.
Dude, like, you ever watch soccer, like, you ever watch the World Cup on, like, English, you know, fucking Fox Sports or Fox or whatever? Then you go to Telemundo, bro. Like, you tell me which one is better. You tell me. Like, I don't want to watch it anymore. The passion of the game, dude.
One person has passion, the other one has...
Jolly old passed the ball right there in the center field, and he moved up, on the right field, and the goal. And the other guy's like, and then the right, and then it goes, goal. Like, it's like, dude, for 10 minutes straight, dude. Like, it's epic.
Yeah. You don't have to even understand what they're saying for you to be
He's
excited
perfectly explaining the play while I'm watching it. He's fucking Picasso drawing that, and I'm like, I don't understand shit, but I know he just said he made a pass to his left, you know, a quick cheeky pass to the back, and then to the left field, up to the right. Messi to the left. Oh, he passes, and Messi back. Goal. I understand. I speak no Spanish. I understood the whole thing.
All of a sudden you speak Spanish. Like, well, I didn't know I spoke fluently. Yeah, that's going to be really sad. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Though, Mexico City may be the new host, actually, in fact, if that does happen. So that'd be kind of cool.
No, dude, Trump won't let that happen.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, dude. Let's cut this out.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. We'll see you after...
Hopefully we're not in the war.
No King's Day on the 14th at military parade. We'll see. But hey, I love you guys. Arrivederci. See you next week.